today there actually is something with your name on it. Interesting thing about an inheritance is that inheritance can have your name on it, but it's your choice to receive it, to claim it per se. Let's just say, hey, there's an inheritance for Andrew for $100,000. Wow, that's pretty cool. Unless I can contact the state to see and give them my bank account and wire information for them to pass me that money can have my name on it, but I can have, well, no access to it because unless I choose it, that's when I can use it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Andrew Roman Show. I'm so happy that you've tuned in. If this is your first episode ever, just want to say thank you because, guys, we're going into like a monumental episode coming up really, really soon. I mean, if you've never listened to a whole nother episode, you have like 98 other ones that you can listen to right now. It's absolutely crazy. We're going to episode 100, which, by the way, if you're listening to this, the day it comes out, you still have a chance to enter the giveaway for the new 3rd generation AirPods. That's right. You can win those if you just follow me on Instagram and then like the post of the giveaway and tag a couple friends. Every tag is an entry. Now, if you're an OG, you're like, dude, I'm already part of the giveaway. What do you mean? I already tagged all my followers. Okay, there you go. That's great. Well, welcome back, OG. Today's a special episode because, guys, 'tis the season. This week is, in fact, special. Why? Because we're celebrating Christmas. Like, I encourage you to listen to last year's episodes about Christmas. We made a great one regarding the truth of Christmas, where we talked about the history, its origins. We addressed some of the accusations of like, oh, Christmas is all a pagan holiday. Christians shouldn't celebrate it. Well, we talk all about it there. And we also did an episode called Make Room for the Savior. Oof. I needed that reminder. If you haven't listened to it, I definitely encourage you. And, you know, you probably thought, man, the Andrew Roman Show hasn't a special Christmas episode. You thought we were taking a break. Nah, baby. We hustle, we grind, we get this thing done, even if it's a holiday. We bring new content every single week. And I get it. You probably think, hey, it's a happy, jolly season, so we should talk about something happy and jolly. Well, today, I'm going to actually let you in a little secret. It's not going to be a happy, jolly episode. What can I say? It's just the way it is. It's actually, I'm going to teach you today how to react when you don't get the gift that you want. I know. This is by popular demand. So many people have been, you know, those influencers are like, oh, well, people have been asking me what type of product I use, you know, that type of influencer comment. This is it. You know, people have been asking me, Andrew, how do I react when I don't get a gift that I like, when I don't get the gift that I want? I mean, this is a real struggle, guys. It's a real like first world problem. I know you probably thought I was going to go somewhere deeper. Hint, it's going to go deep. You know we don't just do fluff in this episode, but I do think that it's important because I know you probably were wanting me to talk about what's the best way to spend time with your family, or what are some great group games to play with some extended family. No, not in this podcast. We're going to talk about how to react when you don't get the gift you want. All right, here we go. Are you ready? 2 simple steps. You smile and you say thank you. That's it. I know it probably went right over your head, right? Because this is like deep stuff. I mean, I know you wanted that new PS5 and parents didn't get you this, and maybe they got you this other gift, or maybe what you wanted was a little bit too expensive, or whoever your family is, they didn't get you the gift that you wanted. And you said, oh, I really wanted that necklace, but they didn't get you the necklace. And instead they gave you just a little kind of ring, maybe. I don't know. But you didn't get what you wanted. I got the solution for you. You smile and you say thank you. So anyway, so that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time in the next episode of the Andrew Roman Show. I'm just kidding. No, you thought, oh my gosh, are we seriously done? Was that it? No, I'm totally kidding. Because here's the thing about Christmas. It's a lot of the focus is on gifts, right? If you don't give a gift to someone, I really encourage you to do so, because that's one of the best ways to make Christmas just a great experience, is to think outside of yourself and give to someone. So that's a little bit besides the point, but gifts kind of take the meaning of Christmas, right? We think about, since right after Thanksgiving, the day we're super grateful, that very night we go and we run over people to get Black Friday deals, right? Or maybe you're shopping around and you're thinking about all these gifts. You make a little your Christmas list, right? I used to do that as a kid, and I would put all the best Legos, the most expensive Legos, right on top, and like, hey, all right, mom and dad, and even mis hermanos, because we're kind of a smaller family. I mean, we're only 3. I know there are some really, really big families that doing what we do is a little bit more difficult because we all tend to give gifts to each other. Because again, we're not that many people, so it's not like I'm gonna go broke, right? With like 7 siblings, but maybe you're the person that you made a Christmas list and everything's kind of about the gift, the Sunday morning or whenever it lands, Christmas morning or Christmas night, depending if you're Hispanic. That would be Christmas night. You're like, oh, there, opening up all the gifts, and if you don't get what you wanted, it's like, it's a whole Christmas is a whole disappointment. Well, there is actually a gift that is exactly what you need. Am I the only one that the older I get, I really appreciate things that I need? Like, my mom one time got me socks for Christmas. That was probably one of the best gifts I could have ever gotten. Maybe because I'm an adult now. Like, how I just wanted to cry. When I opened those 12 pairs of socks, I just started to tear up because we all understand what happens, right, with socks. You have socks for like a day, and then you go to do the laundry, and for some reason, everything's like lost. You get one sock over here, and now you went from 12 pairs to 1.5 to half a sock of this with the other, mismatched socks. I mean, it's just as an adult, you kind of appreciate whenever you get gifts that you really need, right? And it's even greater when that gift is especially for you. Like, how awesome is that, right? Like, as kids, we get super excited. And I say as kids, like as if I was a kid, right? But hey, when we were kids, back, way back then in the late 90s, I mean, I was barely in the 90s, right? But you get the point. When we were kids, we get so excited with gifts. It's like the best thing in the world was to give a gift. I'll share with you. I had an experience. We were at a supermarket, and in this specific supermarket, if you know Aldi, I love Aldi, man. It's just so cool. And Aldi has this section where they have like just random things. I mean, it's like a grocery store, but then you have Hot Wheels there or a little present. So we bought this Hot Wheels gift that we were going to give to some family that we know. And as we were checking, we checked out, and as we were leaving the store, this little kid, maybe 4 or 5 years old, looks at the Hot Wheels box and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, I want to buy that." And of course, it was super cute, and I was like, "I know, right? It's super cool." He's like, "Yeah, it's so cool." He was so excited. Anyway, so we left the store, and I just felt, both my mom and I felt like, you know what? Let me see if there's another one of those. Maybe we could gift it to him, right? Like a Christmas gift. Well, so I go back, and there is another box. So we buy the box. And the family, it was a mom and her son. And as they were leaving the store, we catch them, right? And we're like, "Hey, just so you know, here's your new gift." The mom was like, wait, are you serious? That's for us? And when the boy looked at it, and the boy was kind of thrown off, he's like, "Oh, I want that." But here's where the kicker is. When mom said, "This is for you," you should have seen his face. It lit up like the sun. I mean, it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. Like, oh man, I think it blessed me more than it blessed him, to be honest with you. Because there's nothing more exciting than to get something with your name on it. I mean, that's awesome. And actually, that's kind of what I want to talk about the rest of this episode, is that there's a gift with your name on it. And yes, you probably know where I'm going with this, but we're going to go a little bit deeper than we usually talk about, who's the reason for the season? Right, Jesus, right? And Jesus came in this season, I know historians say he wasn't born in December, but it's just a day that we celebrate his birth in the gift of salvation, right? And receive his grace. And it's so awesome. But I want to take you a little bit deeper now with another story in the Bible you might not have connected with this. Because there's an inheritance, a gift that you have. Have you watched the movie Knives Out? It's a great kind of thriller, what is it? Like detective movie, right? Murder mystery type of movie. And the movie's all about an inheritance. the patriarch of the family passes away. No one knows if he got killed, murdered, suicide, what happened, but he was super rich and he was leaving an inheritance. Well, everyone, of course, all the siblings wanted something of all the siblings and all the grandchildren, all the children, they all wanted something of the inheritance. But when, as the end of the movie, by the way, it's been a long time, no spoil, it's not really spoilers, you can watch it. By the time the will is read, there is nothing with their name on it. Nothing. It all goes to the nurse who had helped the patriarch while he was alive. And they were so mad and angry because there was nothing with their name on it. But today there actually is something with your name on it. Unfortunately, for many, they don't choose it. Interesting thing about an inheritance is that inheritance can have your name on it, but it's your choice to receive it, to claim it per se. When a will is read, let's just say, hey, there's an inheritance for Andrew for $100,000. Wow, that's pretty cool. But unless I can contact the state to see and give them my bank account and wire information for them to pass me that money can have my name on it, but I can have, well, no access to it. Because unless I choose it, that's when I can use it. Ooh, oh wait, uh-oh. That was kind of cool. Unless you choose it, that's when you can use it. Now, there's a story in Luke chapter 10, verse 38 through 42. To paint you the picture, this is when Jesus, he resurrects Lazarus, and he's with Mary and Martha. Mary and Martha, the sisters of Lazarus, and I'll pick it up in verse 38. It says this: as Jesus and his disciples were on the way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted with all the preparation and that had to be made. And she asked the Lord, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all this work by myself? Tell her to help me. Most of us might be familiar with this story, so we kind of know where this goes. Verse 41, Jesus says, Martha, Martha, you're worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen the good portion, and it will never be taken away from her. Interesting. I've always read this story as in the lesson of the story is be a Mary, not a Martha, right? Don't be so caught up in serving so much and all the doing that you forget who you're serving, right? You forget the person that this is all for, which is Jesus. But Jesus uses a phrase there. Mary has chosen the better portion, or the good portion in some translations. The word portion, that's not the first time that it's used in the Bible. In fact, Psalm 16 verse 5, it says, Lord, you alone are my portion and my cup. You make my lot secure, my inheritance, some say. Let's read it again. Lord, you alone are my portion and my cup. You make my lot secure. Did you catch that? So Mary, Jesus says that Mary chose the good portion, meaning she chose Jesus. She chose to spend time with him. And in Psalm 16:5, it confirms that God is our portion. The Lord is my portion. Now, here's what's interesting here. Because usually in Christianity, a lot of the focus is in eternity, right? As in, like, we will experience the full glory of God in eternity. Absolutely. That's all true. But there's a verse in John 10:10 that tells us that Jesus himself talking, he first contrasts himself versus the thief. So he says the thief only comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but he has come to give us life and life abundantly. Now the question is, why do we not all see that life abundantly? Because let's be honest, you've probably showed up to church, you've probably tried the church thing, you probably tried following Jesus, but you still had similar struggles, you still had the same addictions, you still had hardships, so you're like, okay, what the heck is this whole thing about quote-unquote abundant life? Now, for us to better understand that, we have to understand what Jesus was really talking about. Because if we don't understand what Jesus can do in our lives and what he has given us, then we're not really going to experience that. Here's what I mean. Mary, as Jesus said, Mary chose the portion. She chose the good portion. The portion was available to her, but Mary chose it. That's what the question is for you. Is will you choose your portion? Will you choose the gift that God has given you, which really is himself. He has given the opportunity for you and I to have an intimate relationship with him. That's pretty insane. I don't think there's a Christmas gift that beats that. That you have direct access to God is crazy. You have a good portion. The portion is the Lord. And a lot of this focus comes to like, okay, well, maybe in heaven. Okay, I get it. In heaven, I will have my portion. And there's a lot of focus in heaven, right? Like as in the Christian life, it's just kind of a bunch of defeats and misery right here on earth. But once you get to heaven, everything is better. Now, Jesus surely said that we would have tribulations and trials and hardships in this life, but we might take heart because he defeated them and he has overcome them. Remember, Jesus is with you to help you go through those problems and not stay in those problems. But here's the key. Mary chose the portion. I feel like a lot of us, the portion's available to us. We just haven't chosen it. We have let Jesus be like an extra in our life. There's an inheritance with your name on it. The will has been read and your name's on it. But the question is, will you choose it? Will you be like Mary and will you choose the good portion? Because a lot of us might be like Martha. And again, we tend to judge Martha like, oh, how dare Martha? But Martha was doing it out of good heart. She was being hospitable and she was trying to serve Jesus in the way that she understood it. Now, of course, she learned the greater importance that whatever you do it unto the Lord, not unto people. And your priority should not be just the works of things, but really your heart. Because can I tell you something? God's not interested in your works. He's interested in your heart. I know. We put so much emphasis on works. That's part of it, but that flows out of a heart that's connected to God. God understands that change comes from inside out. So he wants your heart first, and out of that, the good works flow. So many people think, okay, is it faith? Is it works? What is it? Well, works with faith without works is dead, right? But we shouldn't. Salvation is not unto works that anyone should boast. So what's the balance here? God wants your heart, and when he has your heart, good works flow from it. Mary chose her good portion. She chose the gift that had her name on it. Will you choose it? Because that gift is for now. That gift is for today. In fact, Psalm 142 verse 5 says this, I cry to you, Lord, and I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. You can experience God and have an intimate relationship with him right now. Don't wait to heaven. You can do it right now. In fact, sometimes we have a misconception of eternity. We feel like eternity will begin when we die. Eternity has already begun. You know YOLO, you only live once? That's technically correct. Because when you accept Jesus, you actually don't die. You keep on living. Your spirit keeps on living. Your spirit now lives eternally. And now you just switch merely destinations. And if you don't believe in Jesus, you keep on living in the wrong destination, unfortunately, under torture the whole time. And it's called hell. Not a pretty place. But God has given us a solution out of there, right? We have to choose our portion, our inheritance that has our name on it. But to use it, you must choose it. So here's my question to you this Christmas. As we prepare, and if you listen to this episode as it comes out, there's a couple of days till Christmas. Where's your focus? Will you take a moment and decide whether you will choose the gift that God has given you? That you will choose your portion? Because your name is on it. I fear that too many of us are pushing it off. At some point, I'll get to it. Some point I'll take my faith seriously. Once I get older, I can think about those things. Now I'm just kind of living my life. Why once you get older? Is your portion once you get older? Is God like, I will be able to use you once you become 35. Then you shall be used by me. I don't see a scripture for that. In fact, there's scriptures opposite to that. What does it say? Don't let anyone look down upon you because of your age. But be an example, right? Set the example in faith and love and in purity. So our responsibility this Christmas is, yes, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time with family. Make sure you know how to react when you don't get the gift that you want. But God right now is giving you a gift that you need. And when you accept that, then he changes your desires. You and I need this gift. You and I need this inheritance. You and I need this portion. If you think that you don't need it, I'm sorry, but you're coming to an ugly surprise. It's like the person who swims and says, I don't need a life jacket, I'm fine. Yeah, you're going to need that life jacket. You're going to need that portion. It's interesting because whenever we think about Jesus, sometimes we can tend to think just in matters of salvation. It's like, oh, save me, God. And then he saves you and you're like, thank you so much. Well, we'll see you later, alligator. Or after a while, or no, shoot. Oh, yeah. I almost had it. We'll see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Okie dokie, artichoke, right? Something like that. I learned this one a little differently in Mexico. Déjame te explico. In Mexico, I learned it was okie dokie little monkey, but it doesn't rhyme as much as artichoke, does it? Don't ask me, as you can tell. Soy mexicano. ¿Por qué me estás preguntando estas preguntas? Pues yo no sé. So, what are you going to choose this Christmas? Will you choose the gift that God has given you? Will you be like Mary and choose the good portion? Now, if you're asking yourself, what is that good portion, as we've explained it throughout this episode, it's a relationship with God that you can have. A living relationship today in the land of the living. Because you have a gift and it has your name on it. Will you choose it today? Because you have a portion, as Jesus says, that will never be taken away from you. We'll see you in the next episode of The Andrew Ramon Show. Merry Christmas.